I want to now bring in Vatican correspondent for EWTN News, Colm Flynn. Colm, I had to have you back on the show, so thanks for answering the phone call. I mean, each year the Pope seems to face challenges with bronchitis or other respiratory illnesses. What makes this round so different for him, you think?
Yeah, good morning, Markie, and thanks to Alicia for that great report. And she's exactly spot on with the medical prognosis. And I think the most important thing that she has said, which is what we're hearing from the Vatican here too, is that even though he is still critical, it is stable. But at the end, they said the prognosis remains guarded, which means we don't know where this is going to go from here. We don't know if it's going to get better or going to get worse. And actually, seeing Alicia stand outside St. Patrick's Cathedral, you'll remember it was just a day or two ago that Cardinal Timothy Dolan of New York there, during a sermon, he said to the congregation, quote, that the Pope was probably close to death. So just people do not know what to think at the moment or where this is going to go. But, you know, it is the only thing that people are talking about all over the Vatican here. Even last night, as I was walking through the narrow streets of Rome, you sit in a restaurant and there are two priests having a glass of wine talking about the health of the Pope. What is going to happen? Will there be a conclave? Will there be a resignation? Going down the streets then, you see a group of nuns standing there under a light. They're talking about the Pope's health. St. Peter's Square filled with people praying, as you can see there on your screen. 2 nights ago, the Vatican announced that they were going to start a nightly rosary, and they were inviting the faithful to come and pray for the recovery of Pope Francis. The first night, it was led by Cardinal Pietro Parolin. He is the second in command, the second most powerful Catholic in the world, just under Pope Francis. And last night, it was led by the Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. So you have 2 hotspots for prayer, one outside, of course, the Gemelli Hospital, where the Pope is being treated up on the 10th floor in a kind of papal suite where the popes are normally brought. That's the place in that hospital. And then you have the other hotspot for prayer, which is right there in St. Peter's Basilica, next to where I'm speaking to you now at the moment. So it's a strange atmosphere here, Markie, in Rome, because, you know, people fear the worst, especially over the weekend when he had a bad asthma crisis and we were told that he needed a blood transfusion. Right. It happened so quickly. And then now it's saying it's still critical but stable. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen.
And all these crowds coming together for the rosaries, I mean, it's just remarkable to see everybody coming together in communion, with the Pope. When you talk to these people there on the ground, Colm, do they think he's going to pull through? I mean, kind of what's the sentiment there?
You know what? I actually spoke to his nephew, would you believe, yesterday. His nephew is Jose Ignatius, living back in Buenos Aires in Argentina. I'd interviewed him back in 2018 for EWTN. So I was talking to him over Facebook, and he said that while he and his family are not traveling at the moment to Rome, they're praying for him from Buenos Aires. They're hopeful, but they're also realistic, he told me. And I think that's the feeling from people here, that while they're praying for a miracle, remember, we are Catholics, we believe in the power of prayer, we believe in miracles, they also have to be realistic too, that he is 88 years of age. He has suffered, as you mentioned at the beginning before, like back in 2023, he was hospitalized twice for bronchitis, but they were shorter stays. We didn't hear words like critical. We didn't hear anything about a blood transfusion. We certainly didn't hear him having a respiratory crisis and needing oxygen. So we haven't seen a severe hospital stay like this before. He did have to cancel big papal trips to places like Dubai, so things were serious, but he bounced back, Markie. When we thought things were very bad the last time, he came back, and not only did he work at the Vatican, but he went to places like Mongolia, Papua New Guinea, East Timor. So he is a fighter.
It's like he came back better last time. Yeah.
And I was on those trips with them, Markie, and I was exhausted. The journalists were thinking, how can he keep doing this? Just because of the grueling nature and schedule of those trips. But the tone from the Vatican is different this time. And here's one thing. I know we're running on time, Markie, but when you see them calling for prayer and calling for vigils, and the head cardinals of the church leading the rosary every night in St. Peter's Square. And also, I met some cardinals last night who had flown in from different parts of the world to pray for the Holy Father. When they start to fly in and when they have those types of prayers, you know that things are very serious.
Yeah, that it's serious. Well, hoping for continued good news and silver linings out of the Vatican this morning, and for his continued health. Colm Flynn, thank you so much. I'm sure I'll be talking to you before the week's over again.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.